Accessing orientation file. Welcome aboard the Aries. My name is Echo, the ship's artificial intelligence. This N-class exploration and rescue vessel is equipped with the following new systems. 1. Cryogenic chambers. These pods make long-distance travel possible by putting the crew into a state of cryostasis at negative 196 degrees centigrade and minimizing resource usage. Side effects can include temporary memory loss. 2. Security tags. The card readers will lock out for increasing amounts of time with each successive attempt if a card without granted access is scanned. 3. Space-time grid. The grid is normalized so all objects move at the same rate. Object tails indicate direction of movement. Small objects like asteroids will pass each other freely, but larger objects such as the Aries will collide with anything entering its square at the same time. Encrypted distress signal received. Transmission patterns suggest Alliance ship in distress. Category of emergency unknown. Calculating mission parameters. Proceed to cryochambers now. Initializing cryogenic sequence. Launching mission in T-3, 2, 1.
We had an idea early on that it might be neat to have people have sort of a different role. So we decided to do that with the RFID cards. So everyone has a different role and you got to figure out who you are and what you do to access different parts of the ship. So you come into Red Alert. So opens up to...
It's got a sticker on it too.
Sun. So in this room is the med bay. Over here we've got the cryo chambers, as described in the intro video, and a mechanical supply closet. We've got the med bay computer
Terminal, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely the path forward. But here on the terminal it says low power, reroute power to module. So as we walk through the room, the only
There's really not much to discover, really,
the
at this
only
point.
door that opens is this one. And we also have power cable. Again, reroute the power. Enter expected arrival date to access emergency power. When we open this closet, what we are asking people to notice is when you open the door, the light turns off, and close the door, the light turns on. If you wouldn't mind. And we thought it a neat idea to have people have to crawl into the cryo chamber and close the door on themselves.
Cryo 252 of 579 completed.
Entering the expected arrival date. Here on the medbay computer, we have today's star date.
What would the start date be if we had completed all 579 days?
We have to understand the remaining days and add that to today's star date, and that will give our expected arrival. Add those numbers up, we get
248179.
248179. And we get the green light. Star date verified. Now it says enter medbay number to store backup power. So the wires connecting and disconnecting, and the scorch marks are disturbing the numbers. And so the idea here is this is definitely a 0. This is obviously a 1 or a 7. A lot of people guess that this could be a 3 or an 8, and the one that they typically miss is that it could also be a 9. And this is either a 5 or a 6. After some trial and error, we put in the correct medbay number, which is 0, 1, 96. Number confirmed.
Initializing. Echo online. Scanning ship, Aries. My analysis indicates the ship is in disrepair due to a cosmic anomaly. 95% of systems offline. Cryostasis interrupted. Warning. O2 levels are dangerously low. Oxygen supply must be replenished to ensure crew survival. Time to asphyxiation has been indicated.
So she's indicated that we need to get oxygen to the ship before they'll let us proceed. So now that the power is back on, our RFID readers work. If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, it says Alex Avogadro. And then over here is the word mechanic. So you get a few pieces of information in that cryopod.
So whoever is wearing the Alex tag knows that they are the mechanic and will eventually be able to get themselves into the mechanical supply closet. Okay, so we'll try Alex. And it works. So we've got this cylinder and we're trying to get the O2. We see here labeled O2 regeneration and supply. But it says medical officer access only, so we got to figure out who the medical officer is. Here we have a list of crew members.
Titled medical examination schedule.
Right. So there's one name that someone will have on their card that is not on this list, and that is because they will be doing the medical examination, and that will be the medical officer on the ship.
Sam is the name that's not on the list. Scan that.
So the idea was to regenerate the O2 into this cylinder by pressing and holding it in. And you can see it's marked depleted here and replenished up here, and the bar slowly fills up. And now it's full. You're filling this tube with O2 and then you're supplying it to the ship.
Echo reporting. O2 levels acceptable. Some core systems still offline. To achieve primary objective of answering distress signal, critical systems must be restored. Restoring auxiliary systems is optional. Activate main power and engines by igniting reactor core. Accessing engineering bay.
As indicated by the voiceover, you've got your critical systems that you must complete in order to get out of the room, and then the auxiliary systems that just add to your score. As you can see, we've got the emergency power and the life support. That was the O2 puzzle. So we've got electrical, core cooling, reactor, and navigation that we must complete. So electrical is this box here. The idea here was to have something that multiple people had to partake in. So as you can see, if I stand back here, put my arm in one of these gloves, I can't see what I'm doing. So the idea was to have Brad explain to me where to grab, and this other glove is pretty far away, and I would be hard pressed to try and use both gloves and connect these things. So the idea was to have one person on one glove, another person on the other glove, and someone from the front.
5 colors on this side, and then we've got 5 numbers on that side. And so you're trying to relate somehow color and number. And the way that you do that is by recognizing that red has 3 letters, there's a 3 over there, blue 4, and so on and so on. So once you make those connections, there's a visual indication that you've correctly solved the puzzle.
6 is yellow, and the other trick, I guess, is that what
suppose.
color is this? And there's not very many 7-letter colors, and so we went with magenta or fuchsia. which is also 7.
Yeah.
So once we plug this in, you should get a visual indication that we've solved that puzzle. And that closet over there labeled ELG. So notice that this radiation protection barrier, do not cross, is signed by the professional engineer. Their initials are TT.
We do have a Taylor, or there will be a Taylor, I guess.
We went with androgynous first names so that no matter who got the card, they could feel like it could possibly be them.
Yeah.
So typically you would get your pipes in there. Like the electrical puzzle, both feed into the reactor core. So you need electrical power and you need core cooling, which is what these pipes are supposed to simulate. And you can see that they're both connected eventually to the reactor core. And once you get the thing back in place, there's a
Echo reporting. Ship power restored. Engines online. Long-range scanners online.
On the status board, these indicators have lit up, saying that we've completed those puzzles.
There's multiple solutions to this puzzle. We've seen some come out of plane like this, some all in the same plane. That's how it was designed. And there's multiple iterations of each. So that's kind of fun to see how people solve it differently. What we've noticed is the bridge door is locked. Once you turn the reactor on, it gives you power to everything, including this RFID reader. But everyone's cards do not work on this reader. So you're looking for the bridge key card. So the only thing left to do is to travel upstairs into the vents.
So yeah, in here you get a couple of flashlights, and there's also a magnet on a rope.
So this is a visual perspective puzzle, I suppose. So when you're down in the engineering bay, there are just these random marks on the wall. So when you come up here, there's a little slit cut out of the vents, and it goes through something that's been mounted, I guess, on the downslope there, and it kind of completes what you're looking at, but you have to get just the right perspective here in the vents. So there are 4 numbers here, and there are no spaces between any of them.
5, 4, 8, 6. So once you get that combo right, slide door. So you put the combo in and it'll open up. And so around the corner here you get to another puzzle. It's just shapes, and you have to change the shapes somehow to numbers. That's what's on the keypad. So the idea here was the number of vertices or corners. So 4, 6, 0, and 3. Alright, so once you get that, you put it in the keypad behind me, and this door will open. There's kind of a box at the end of the hall with a handle on it. You wouldn't be able to do this puzzle by yourself. That if you try and pull this box out, it's quite deep, and so you can't actually get around to what's behind it unless you pull the box down this hallway, which you can't really do by yourself. One person to pull the box out this way, and the second person to pull the box down this hall so that the first person could then walk past the box. So I'll pull this way, and then it kind of bottoms out, and Joel's able to pull it his way into that little hall with him.
And now we're able to keep going. And Joel's sort of stuck in there for the time being. So you keep going down this hall, and you get to an opening that's in the floor of the vent, and this leads into the bridge. And this is the door that was locked in the engineering bay that said bridge on it. And you can see that there's a key card there. And so it has to use a magnet to retrieve it. Like, there's a lot of very physical elements to that. And that, again, is just providing like a variety to the types of puzzles. And if people, drop that bridge key and it goes clanking somewhere else, well then they've got a bit of a challenge ahead of them, I guess.
Now that we have the bridge key, open up the bridge.
Warning. Warning. Asteroid field detected. Collision imminent. Time to impact has been indicated. Navigation and autopilot systems malfunctioning. Evasive maneuvers required. Use space-time grid to plot course towards ship in distress. First, determine current location using star maps.
So we look around, we don't really see any star maps. You notice one of these guys, so we gotta get in here. Well, we notice sitting here is a hat. It says Sagan pilot. Sagan was Sydney from the crew list there, and all the names are alliterated. So scan Sydney and get into the cabinet. So in there we get a bunch of maps, grids with different dots. The grid corresponds to the space-time grid, and in order to figure this puzzle out, we need to know where we are on this grid, where our starting square is. So to determine that by looking out into the stars and comparing all the constellations that we can see, looking through or rotating. For example, Lacerta, if you rotate it like this, it's that one there. So we know that this one is in.
So we have 10 star maps and we have 7 constellations. So we know we have to eliminate 3.
So once you line them all up, you can tell that there is one space that is not filled in by stars, and that's this square here, which would correspond to, I think that's D5. So enter start position, grid square. D5, coordinates accepted. So now we have to plot our course to navigate the asteroid field. Starting in this square, how can we safely get to this square when every time we move, so do the asteroids? And if we collide with the asteroids, then it's obviously not good. For example, if the asteroid's tails are saying it's going this way, so if everyone moved and we moved backwards, we would collide. Or you move left and then up, you would collide with this one. Pause here if you want to figure it out. Go up, right, down, right, down before going up 3 times in a row. Up, right, down, up, up, up. Asteroid field cleared.
Echo reporting. Asteroid field cleared. Source of distress signal reached. Analysis indicates Aries being pulled off course by unknown force. Engaging reverse thrusters. Full power. Position stable. Scanning anomaly. Results show the Aries and ship in distress are both caught on event horizon of a black hole at current rate of energy consumption Only two options exist. Option 1. Calculations indicate using escape pods would yield 98% chance the extra thrust will overcome the gravitational pull of the black hole, allowing for total crew survival. However, ability to aid ship in distress reduces to 0%. Option 2. Use the remaining energy to engage the tractor beam and push the ship in distress to safety with 98% chance of success. With this option, calculations indicate 0% chance of Aries crew survival.
So, and now this door opens. Now we have an option. So we can use the escape pods to save ourselves, or we could use the tractor beam, push the other ship into safety. And so with this tractor beam.
Tractor beam access denied. Authorization level of captain required. Audio file found. Commencing playback.
Tractor beam controls are indicated here that there is an up and a down arrow. You start at one note, and then are you going up or down from that note in terms of tone or pitch? So I think it goes up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down.
Targeting ship. Initiating tractor beam. Maneuver successful. Target ship clear of event horizon and drifting away from black hole. 90% chance of target ship survival. Receiving transmission.
You did it! I can't believe it worked! You saved us! We will not forget this. We'll send help as soon as we can. Hang in there. You'll be remembered.
Aries power failing. 58% chance of Aries crew survival. Recalculating. 32% chance. Recalculating. 12% recalculating. 0% chance of Aries crew survival. I have failed my primary directive. It has been an honor serving the Aries and her crew. Echo signing off. Powering down. Goodbye.
So that's the end of room option 1, I guess.
You don't make it out in this option, but you can feel good about yourself that you saved the other ship. So you don't actually escape the room, but you still garner the same amount of points. So we decided to make this one points-based, where the other rooms are get out as fast as you can. This one is fix the ship as well as you can. The better you fix the ship, the more points you get, and the higher up on the leaderboard. Beat your score by solving more puzzles. So you can do the main quest again, but maybe you get more auxiliary puzzles. Maybe you get more of the side quest puzzles that add to your score. You've got your critical systems that you must complete in order to get out of the room, and then the auxiliary systems that just add to your score. One such puzzle is the hull integrity puzzle. What looks to be the ship exterior with a couple of, I don't know, you're not really sure at this point, story-wise, what has happened to the ship. So you just know that the hull has some damage to it. Picking up this remote, there's a label for weld laser. So when I turn that on, we can see that little crosshair comes up from this arm. Or if we use the controls, we can rotate the arm to the different spots and try and weld. You can see the LED getting brighter there to simulate the hull heating up. If we go to all three spots, we can weld the hull back together. There we go. You can see that LED lighting up. And when we've repaired the hull, the green light comes on and we get one of our auxiliary systems. So hull integrity. So next, fire suppression. So this puzzle We have a fire in cargo bay 2. Using these buttons, which activate the doors labeled, extinguish the fire. And the way to do that is to open the doors to the airlock into space, which will evacuate the oxygen, and with no oxygen, the fire will go out. Trace this back, so C26, B131, 132, A13, A17, A18, A25. And with that, the fire is suppressed. If you do this incorrectly, you can take the fire and expose it to either oxygen storage or the fuel reserve, in which case the bottom half of the ship will blow up. As you can see, we're up here. We started in the med bay. We got to the engineering bay, and the bridge is through this wall. So you can fail this. This is kind of a one-shot deal. Kind of like the idea of having something that could potentially go wrong in the ship and be irreversible.
When it does blow up, there's a audio cue that plays. It sounds like an
Big explosion.
Yeah. So.
A solar array. You'd have these solar arrays that you would have to turn to power more of the ship. You have to point them towards the sun, which would look like this when it's super shiny and you get the reflection. So if you do that to both, it should turn on. So now solar array is operational. This communications puzzle. You've got a grid with north, south, east, west, and it gives you directions. So starting at west, go to north, and then go to south, and then there's a comma, and then southwest to southeast, which would be this. So you've got this, and you've got this, and that makes the number 1. So 1 is the first digit. So then we've got southwest to northwest to north, to east, to south, to southwest. So this is alphanumeric. That's supposed to be a D. No, that's 6.
Put it all in double time.
It's a 6. Oh, 8. That's A. 7. 2. 4. You solve this puzzle and ask you to send the distress signal. So you're stuck on an event horizon of a black hole. You're going to hit yes, I want to send the distress signal. We got this out of the mechanical supply closet. So we've got this, it's a safe. It's got 4 colors, top to bottom, yellow, green, orange, pink. So if we start with yellow, for the yellow side, looking at the negative space. So in the negative space, in the black, you can kind of see the number 4 there. So the first number is 4. And then green, probably the hardest one to see. If you trace it out, kind of makes a figure 8 was the idea there. So the next number is 8. Orange is 0, and pink is the letter E. So the answers were 4, 8, 0, E, and it opens up. This one, we get a card. So we gotta go upstairs to figure out the rest of it. So the idea here was, you see the red rectangle in both spots and the double diamond. So we're back up in the vents. You can see that there are holes where these two symbols would go, here and here, or vice versa, these two symbols would go in between here. So again, it's kind of a visual interpretation puzzle, where really what we're looking at is the negative space. So here you see 3 vertical lines. Here you might see a V. Here 1 vertical line. And here a 1 and sort of an X shape. In Roman numerals, 3, 5, 1, 9. So push that in. It opens. Unlock it. And the door should slide open. This room is meant to be the captain's quarters. You can see here, this is kind of his bed made from rollers that he would sleep on. And you see a safe on the wall right here, and a colorful wall here. So looking around a little bit more, these rollers actually do roll, and we can see that there's similar colors and a few letters. You can see if you go with just yellow, TEHVH, doesn't really spell anything. RTEH doesn't really work. Looking at the wall, going in the order of those colors top to bottom, so yellow, orange, pink, green. The first yellow from the left side would be a T. The next color is orange, TH, and then pink. And the first pink that you come across is not this one, so you go back to R, THR, and then green is E, THRE, and then back to the top of the order, E, 3. So yellow was the last one we did, then we're back to orange, E, I, G, H, T. So now we're to pink, S, E, V, E, N, T, H, R, E, E. So 3, 8, 7, 3, and set up. The story thus far is that you wake up and the ship's in disrepair. On your way to saving the ship in distress, you haven't elapsed the entire cryogenic sleeping, so you've woken up early. The captain is revealing to you through some of these puzzles that he's figured out what has happened. If you want to figure it out, you can pause now. Superimposed this square over this square, you would have W shape. And so on and so forth. This would be O-R-M-H-O-L-E. So wormhole. The bottom one here similarly spells time warp. Another sci-fi trope where going through a rip in space-time, things get jumbled up, and so maybe that's a reason for the ship being in the state that it is. The ship's gone through a wormhole, and potentially time dilation effects have occurred. Which might be why you didn't get through all the cryo. If you've wandered around the vents, you've seen a similar type gold, black, and red 8 squares in a row. So if we go to that door now, maybe we can do something with those letters. Alright, so as stated before, black and red 8 squares apiece. Wormhole, time warp. And you get a bit of a clue here as to what you need to do. This would be an L, and this would be an R. So how does L and R give you -6? So L is the 12th letter of the alphabet, and R would be the 18th. So you subtract those two to get -6. And you can confirm that doing the other letters in the same way and getting these numbers. So really what it's saying is you need these 4 numbers and punch those into the keypad, and that will get you into this room. Around the walls, and clearly someone has gone insane. You're starting to get more and more clues as to these time dilation effects maybe taking place. So we see on the ground here captain's logs, and you got to put them in chronological order. So captain's log stardate 247847. Something has gone terribly wrong. I woke up from cryo 5 days before the crew, as per protocol, to find the ship in disrepair. The cryo sequence did not fully complete. There was no attack or impact according to the ship's logs. What could have caused this much havoc? All the instruments seem to be out of calibration. I won't be able to repair all of the ship's systems myself, but I might be able to figure out what happened with some time and luck. Captain Tiberius. This one says, it appears we are still several parsecs from the distress signal. I hope the ship and its crew can hold on until we arrive. According to my calculations and the course we had plotted, we are not where we should be, or when. It's worse than I thought. The only explanation is a rip in space-time, a wormhole perhaps. There are time dilation effects beyond calculation acting on the ship. There's a possibility multiple timelines were created. I have detected a large black hole in the vicinity. This could be the universe trying to repair itself by unifying timelines into a singularity. What have we done? The Aries has opened Pandora's box. Or rather, we are the box. Save us all. They are us, we are them. They are us, we are them. Repeated. And Captain Tiberius, his signature is crossed out, and Captain Tiberius the Second is put in its place. The distress signal is from the Aries, the other ship. We. That means there are two? I'm not sure which one of me will survive if the loop is broken. I'm going it alone. It's too late for your present or future selves, but to save your past. And then in red, there seems to be gibberish. This is the encrypted part. So you're looking for what a U actually is. Knowing that these messages are the same, so this is telling you which alphabet to use to convert.
Yeah.
So
this line here is the same as this line here.
Right.
Yeah.
So the R corresponds to the U. So the U, we want to convert the U to the answer key in gold, and we have to use the R alphabet. So we go R to U, which gives you a D. So then W is the next one. So I, go to the I, we look for W, and that gives you O. Do. So on and so forth, and the message is, it's too late for your present or future selves, but to save your past, do not send the distress signal. If we go to the communications puzzle in the bridge, we have that option. Communications. Knowing what we know now about the ship we're trying to save, the original distress signal we received was actually from ourselves when you solved this puzzle. So the idea was the first time you play through, you haven't done the side quest, so you figure out this communications puzzle. So you solve this puzzle and ask you to send the distress signal. Typically, first playthrough, you don't know what's happened. So you're stuck on an event horizon of a black hole. You're going to hit yes, I want to send the distress signal. What we find out, the captain has figured out the ship we're trying to save is actually ourselves from the past. So the distress signal we receive at the beginning is us hitting yes right now. So he suggests through the cipher to not send the distress signal. So send a distress signal, press no. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes, we are sure. Distress signal canceled, satellite system powering down. Power off. So that's the only way to get full points for that puzzle and for the entire room, is to not send that distress signal, hence breaking the loop and you being the last ship to be stuck in this situation. As opposed to continuing on and on, getting yourself from the past to come and save yourself. So coming back to the option you choose at the end, really doesn't matter. You're saving yourself either way. It's just, am I saving my future self, or my past self, or my current self? However you want to think about it.
Yeah.
So the reason that the captain encrypted the tractor beam option is he knew that that would save the other ship, which was his past self. And he was indicating in his journals that he wasn't sure if we broke the loop which one would survive. So if we saved them, he didn't feel that that really was him, and he wanted his current self to survive. So he encrypted that option so that you would be forced to take the escape pod option. So if we go ahead and choose the other option.
Opening escape pod doors. Failed. Second attempt. Failed. Analyzing failure. Obstruction on exterior of ship is preventing escape pod door from opening. Calculating solutions. Debris must be removed manually from outside the ship. Scanning airlock. Insufficient power for full operation. It will not be possible to re-enter the ship. Calculated survival probability 0%. Survival of crew members is my primary function. Cannot allow access. Encrypting airlock door code.
Figure this out.
9472. I do remember this one.
As you could hear, Echo, aptly named because it's kind of like an echo of time that you're are reliving this same loop over and over again. So that's where the name came from. What we heard there is Echo getting angry because her core objective was to keep this crew of the ship alive, and so because the airlock was only unidirectional, and if you went through, you wouldn't be able to come back. That would basically doom someone to death, and so she encrypts the airlock door code. Luckily, she encrypts it with Morse, which is this convenient legend right here. So we enter the code, which was
9472. One thing that's interesting too about this option is that people often choose this option thinking that like no one will have to die, right? Because they're saving themselves.
Right.
So then they choose it, and it's like, someone, at least one of you is gonna die.
So the idea was to have kind of a hero moment for someone where they could like martyr themselves or like sacrifice themselves to save everyone else. Some people just want to see a different part of the ship that no one else gets to see. Some people force the weakest link through the airlock. Through this window port is just a star field, so it's like you're looking through the window port of the ship to the stars beyond. Step into the airlock, and this door is locked until you close the first door, as a real airlock would work. So so we get in, we close the door behind us, and the light turns green. We open it up, and now we're outside the ship. There's some debris in the way of the door. We move the debris away, and we pull the door open.
Passage clear. Evacuate. Evacuate. Preparing escape pods. Evacuate. Evacuate.
So only once that door is open does this unlock. And really where we are right now is inside cryo chamber number 2, which has been locked since the beginning. And you can see here this article written to make the person who sacrificed themselves feel that their sacrifice was crucial in saving the rest of the Aries. And so the last puzzle for them is to read down the left-hand column 2, 1, 5, 8. And so you enter that 2, 1, 5, 8, and you get out. And that's the end. So, is it recording? All of the, did you just start it? Did you
Halfway through that sentence.
Oops. We've got this. Oh god, this is awkward. This is hard. The second letter is R. Oh no, wait, you go this way, right? Shit.
I'm trying to remember.
R, I, yeah. Or was it R? That doesn't make sense.
We gotta get to H somehow, right?
Yeah. Octagons are
This
space.
classic space
Classic.
shape.
So
And the rope's all kind of tangled up there. I don't know.
Great.
and if we go to, oops, out of practice.
Let me just try here with one hand. Where's the end of this?
I don't even know.
No bad at this.
It's all good stuff. Riveting.
Can you see anything?
It's looking pretty dark. Here, this will all be cut, I think.
We can cut this in post production, right?
I'm just gonna turn this off.
Here.
Huh?
I cut the video here.
Yeah, I'm looking for the power button. Yeah, I think.
Did you cut it though?
I'm still going right now. This is all. This is all gold.
This is gold.
This is all gold.
Cut here.
I'm just gonna roll. It's all gold.
It's all gold.
There's no cuts. So I'm tangled up in this thing.
So we'll scan his card, and of course it doesn't work. Cut here. 2, 5, 6, 8. Is it gonna lock us out?
No.
Okay. Good. O and T. Time I. O and I. LM is 13, right? O is 14, and I. Oh shit! What was it?
We have 25 minutes of battery.
Is that it?
Frig. 5 minutes? Okay. So
So I threw you off, I guess.
Can we?
I have the charger here, yeah.
You have a spare battery?
4 minutes now.
We don't have time for this.
You
I
guys want to go
don't know how much battery I have, but
Just
I
unplug it.
could try.
Try and do it quick.
4 minutes,
flashlight.
and this is not a true 4. We're talking like
Oh yeah.
a minute.
Behind this wall is the brains of the operation. Brad can tell you all about that.
I could, but I mean, we don't need to get that in detail.
Do you remember what the other ones are, Brad?
Oh boy. No.
Oh boy.
Does anyone remember what they are?
Brad?
Oh boy. No.
So Brad put in a lot of work trying to, successfully.
You tried at least, I mean, right?
Yeah.
Some stuff's
We
still
do
a little
what
buggy, but
We do what we can do.
Brad, how much time would you say you spent in the captain's time hole?
More than I care to admit.
It's the first room that has an audio cue.
And
Thanks
we'll
to
probably be
Emily.
the last.
Yeah, probably. Let's go home. Thanks to Emily Durr for doing all of the voice work for that, and Mike Conley for doing some editing.